Hi, first graders. Welcome back to class. I hope you had a wonderful lunch. I miss having you guys, of course. Just to recap, we are going to do our read alouds. Unfortunately, we're not going to have a book talk, but I want you to be thinking about these things like we are having a book talk, like you are going to talk to me. Okay? Great. Okay. We're going to get through this together, my friends. So, I want you to think back to a couple days ago when we were reading our other read alouds. We were reading nonfiction books and fiction books. I want you to take a minute to think in your head, what is a fiction book? A fiction book, remember, is a story with made-up characters. It's a made-up story, right? Now, I want you to take another moment to think about what a nonfiction book is. A nonfiction book is when we take real stories or real facts and put them into a book, right? Nonfiction books are about real things. They have facts, real people, real places. So, now that you're thinking about that, I am going to go ahead and introduce the book. We are going to be sticking to nonfiction books this week. So, books that are about real things, real people, and real facts. That's really cool. You're going to be able to tell all these people all these different things. The book we're reading today is called Tools. I'm sorry I don't have a doc cam, but we are going to make it work. So this book is called Tools by Anna Morris and Ken Heyman. It's a very fun book. I think you'll like it. So it, of course, is a nonfiction book. It's a real story. It has real people, and it has real facts. I want you to be thinking about this. And while we read this book, I want you to think about what tools are used and how are they used. Would you think of these tools as tools? Or did you always think of them as just things we use? Let's get started. Tools by Anna Morris and photographs by Ken Heyman. Tools. All over the world, people use tools. Tools help us in many ways. He's using a comb. They help us to cut. This is a saw. And this is a carving knife for our pumpkins. Many of us have done that before, right? And this is a comb because he's trimming his mustache. And pound. Oh, wow. What are these? They're hammers, that's right. And dig. It's not quite a shovel, right? But they're still digging with it. Think about how people are using these tools. We farm with tools. So, they look like gardening shears. We cook with tools. looks like a skewer. Wow. This looks like a bag and a crepe knife, perhaps. We even eat with tools. Oh, many of us have used these things. A spoon and a straw. Now let's take a moment. Did you ever think of a straw or a spoon as a tool? I never thought of them as a tool myself. I always thought of hammers and shovels and knives to cut. But look. And chopsticks are tools that we use to eat too. Can you think of any tools that you use while you are eating? There are many good ones out there, forks and knives. All right, let's keep going. People use tools to make things. He's making a bracelet. Here, she is knitting. She's using knitting needles as her tool. Here, he's making the bottoms of shoes, it looks like, or perhaps making some kind of leather. So he's using a mallet. And we use tools to fix things. So this gentleman on the first picture was fixing his shoe. And these guys here look like they're fixing up some fishing net so they can go fishing. And we use tools to clean. Looks like he's sweeping the streets, perhaps cleaning his cart. And she's sweeping. Did you ever think a broom could be a tool? Maybe even a mop? Tools help us to write. Your pencil's a tool. I have a pen, that's a tool. And tools help us to count. Sometimes we count on our fingers. We use them as tools. Perhaps you have counters at home that you use, or maybe you use pennies as counters. We use tools to draw and paint. What are the tools that they are using in these pictures? Think about it. Tools help us with our work. He's painting. It looks like he might be making something for himself. They make our lives easier. I want you to think about something. If we didn't have tools, how did they make our lives easier? If we didn't have tools, what would we have to use? Maybe our hands. That sounds pretty challenging. Tools make our lives easier. And here's an index. It tells us about every picture we saw in this book. Some of them were from different parts of the world. Peru, France, the United States, Egypt, Hong Kong, Brazil, Italy, El Salvador, Russia, Haiti, Portugal. So many different places that we got to see. And what is the one thing they all have in common? They all use tools, right? Different kinds of tools, yes. But tools that help them achieve their goals, right? I want you to think about a few key questions. I'll put this up for you. The title of this book is Tools. What does the word tools mean to you now that we've read this book? Remember, I told you at the beginning, be thinking about what you think of as tools. Now, how do you think of tools? Is it different? Are there some tools in this book that you didn't know about before? Maybe something like a crepe flipper or knitting needles. I know there are many I didn't know the name of, which I thought was very, very cool and very interesting. And I want you to think, what made this book a non-fiction book? Why was it non-fiction? I'm sure you have amazing ideas in your head, and I cannot wait to hear them. Thank you for joining me during our read aloud. I miss you all very much, and I hope that we can come back again soon so we can have our real book discussions that I love very, very much. Have fun in science, my friends.